Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fathiah and today I will discuss about power supply. First of all is definition. So, a power supply is a hardware component that supplies power to an electrical device. It receives power from an electrical outlet and converts the current from AC or alternating current to DC or direct currents, which is what the computer requires. It also regulates the voltage to an adequate amount, which allows the computer to run smoothly without overheating. The power supply is an integral part of any computer and must function correctly for the rest of the components to work. In simple terms, the definition of power supply is a component used to supply or provide electrical power to one or more devices. The current power supply has been designed in such a way as to be able to convert basic energy material such as solar, wind, and chemical energy into electrical energy. For computers and some electronic devices, this power supply component is very important and cannot be underestimated. It is certain that if this component experiences problems, then the device will not be able to function normally. When turning on a device such as a computer, the power supply immediately performs a kind of examination and test before the operating system on the computer is run. If this test or check is not problematic, then the power supply performs its next task, which is to send a signal to the main board that the system is ready to operate. After that, the power supply will switch to the next task, which is to steer electrical power to each component in the computer. The amount of power divided is adjusted to the needs and capabilities of each component. And then is the function of power supply. To better understand the meaning of power supply, the first thing that must be known is the function of the power supply itself. In general, the function of a power supply is to change voltage, change power, and regulate power for the output voltage. To be clearer, here are some of the functions of a power supply. First is changing the current of an electric voltage so that it does not exceed the maximum limit on the device. Second is creating backup power in the form of a battery, for example a UPS as a form of anticipation to prevent sudden power failure so that the energy supply is cut off. Third is converts high voltage current or AC, alternating current, into low voltage current or DC, direct current. Next is the type of power supply. Just knowing the types of power supplies can also make you understand more about the meaning of power supply. In everyday life, there are several types of power supplies that are often used in various devices. Some of the following power supplies may already be in our homes, but we don't realize it. What are some of them is, first, AT or Advanced Technology, and then there is PTX or Lens Technology Extended, and the last is ATX or Advanced Technology Extended. First is AT or Advanced Technology. Advanced Technology type power supply is an early generation power supply. This type of power supply can be found on computers in the old era, which are still fairly low and simple specifications, where each component on the computer is still not too sophisticated as it is now. And then there is PTX or Lens Technology Extended. The next type of power supply is the PTX type power supply. This type is used with the intention of supporting the performance of home and office computers. PTX type power supply is a type that is considered far more optimal in performance than other types of power supply. Next is ATX or Advanced Technology Extended. This type of power supply is a modified and developed variant of the AT type power supply. This variant has a unique on-off system that makes it easier for users to turn off the device automatically. As the name Advanced Technology extended, the technology used is much more sophisticated than the previous type. And how power supply works. The way the power supply works is by pressing the power button on the case first. When the power button is pressed before letting the system start working, the power supply will perform checks and tests first. When the test has been successful, then the power supply will send a special signal to the motherboard. Sending a power supply signal to the motherboard is called a power good. So that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.